Hi Kerry, thank you so much for being interviewed today. It's really appreciated.
It's a great pleasure. I always enjoy having a conversation with you.
Oh, thanks Kerry. You've had such an incredible career and you're still having one. You're about to jet set over to London. Can you tell everyone a bit about your career and some of the highlights?
To me, the highlight has been the opportunity to work with a wonderful group of people at Fremantle Ports to turn around an organisation which at the start had relatively stagnant trade and financial problems. We've now had the container trade grow to 4 times the level it was then. We're getting increased containers on rail. We've bought an additional business to handle bulk products, and we've won the Australian Business Excellence Award across Australia, as well as achieving a Gold Award, which was the first organisation in Western Australia to achieve that. So it's working with a team of people to put in place changes, and the wonderful thing is in a port you can actually see the physical results of those changes.
And Kerry, you'll be leaving Western Australia soon. Where are you going next?
Yes, I've been appointed to a job which is called the Agent General, which represents the state of Western Australia in London and Europe. So it's a very exciting opportunity to promote the state and to promote trade in the state, both of which I think are very important.
Wow, what an achievement, Kerry. You must be very excited about going.
I am both excited but also a little bit daunted by the prospect because it's learning new skills. But I've done that now 3 times in my career, completely changed. So in many ways I am looking forward to the new challenge.
Do you think that your career so far has been shaped by having career goals or an element of luck or opportunities or a combination?
Well, I always believe in that saying that the harder I work, the luckier I get. So you have to work hard, you have to prove yourself, but you do have to be given opportunities. So I've been very fortunate that I've been given the opportunities, but equally you have to take them. So unless you're ready for an opportunity, you can't take it. So I believe it's a combination of luck and opportunity, and to a degree you do have the ability to make some of your own luck.
Yeah, that's true. And Kerry, in such a demanding role like the present one that you have with Fremantle Ports, the big question, how do you maintain work-life balance? How do you have a family and raise children and have an incredible career and such a demanding role?
I always used to ring whenever I was away. Every night I would ring and talk to them, and I would try when I'm home to devote some time to discussing things with them as individuals. So I put a lot of store into trying to do that, but sadly my job has always been very busy, so I get less time probably for myself, try and make time for the family. But I think that's the thing with most women, they would be challenged in finding time for themselves.
Yes.
Equally, however, I have made sure I try to keep fit, try and eat the right thing, because that is very important for your ongoing health. So it's an ongoing battle to keep the work-life balance. It's a battle that we will always feel challenged by, but it's an important battle to keep on top of.
Throughout your career, how do you maintain your drive? Do you really love transport and logistics that much?
I've always wanted to make a difference, and I think in our industry you can make a difference because you can actually see what you've done. I've always felt you get out of anything what you put into it, and I've been very involved in some national as well as a number of state organisations. For example, I was one of the founding group when the Australian Logistics Council was set up, and I've twice chaired the infrastructure steering group. I've also been president of Ports Australia for some time, so I like to be involved, but I believe you get out of anything what you put into it. So I've tried to make sure that not only in my own job, but also in the exterior roles I have, that I put a lot of energy into it to make sure that it is effective and more effective for my involvement.
Taking on those national roles, Kerry, like with the Australian Logistics Council, do you think that's important to give back to the industry like that and to raise your visibility in that way?
Ports are so important in the economy that I believe it needs people in our industry to give on a national basis, because otherwise how can the group as a whole do better? It's only by people being prepared to give some of their time to the common good that the industry can do better. So I believe we do need people to make that kind of contribution.
Do you think taking on a national role also increases your visibility and your presence in the industry? People know who you are?
Yeah, I think it is important to increase one's visibility and to be known, because having a reasonable profile means it's much easier when you ring somebody. You're not ringing them as cold as you would otherwise. So if you're known, it makes it much easier to approach people, as you often need to, because in any job you need others to support and help you, and having a profile is very helpful in that.
Well, certainly, Kerry, your contribution to the industry on a national scale has been recognised many times. You have received the Order of Australia.
I feel very fortunate to have been recognised, but I was recognised, of course, for a team effort, because you can't achieve anything as an individual. So each time I have been fortunate to be recognised, but I am very aware that the achievements are those of a team who I've been fortunate to either work with or lead.
And that's a really important point, Kerry. How would you define your leadership style?
Well, I think I've got a leadership style which is very inclusive. It tries to involve others in setting the direction and really tries to get the people all working together and all aware that we need each other to achieve the outcomes that we are aiming for. So a lot of it is about setting the vision, but then more importantly involving others, making sure they have ownership of it and that we'll all advance forward. I also believe that being honest, being open, and even recently there's been a lot of discussion of authentic leadership. So I think women are very fortunate in that if they act themselves, if they are conscious to be themselves rather than to try to act like a guy, for example, if they are being themselves, they are more authentic in terms of their leadership.
So have you found it hard to stay true to yourself?
No, because I find it very hard to not be myself. So it's much better to be yourself, to wear jewellery, for example, and just make sure that you don't adopt the same style as a guy in a job.
Yes.
I've also been pleased because some of the men I've worked with have recognised that difference and have said to me that it's really good to work with me because I get more from a team, because I'm not always exhibiting an ego and I'm happy to give credit or, for example, listen and change my view, so I'm not as set in my ways. Now that's generalising, one shouldn't generalise, because I think most people need to employ in their leadership styles different attributes with different people, and the attributes may come from both sexes.
Yes.
But nevertheless I think it is very important to be authentic.